Welcome everybody back to Phenomenal Fantasy Wrestling. Week 2 down. It's been great. It's been a big week for wrestling. The GCW Homecoming was this week. Amazing show. Matt Cardona. I never thought in a million years I'd see him in a death match. It wasn't as hardcore as some death matches, but it's still the pizza cutter, the light tubes. That's just something you never thought you'd see. Get into. Same being said for Jericho. I was quite surprised with his match with Nick Gage. Nick Gage is taking these guys to another level, and Jericho is already at the top. And to see him go through that kind of match as well, and the pizza cutter, and the Domino's ads, yeah. It was something I never thought I'd see in a million years, and it was incredible. Big week for us, though. We have a new, Darren remains in first place, thanks to the Good Brothers. Man, the Good Brothers have been everywhere. AEW, Impact, New Japan. Those guys are just racking up the points for him. It's been great. Let's look at the standings now. Alright guys, hope you can see my computer screen. Having to do something a little different today. Everybody's in the house asleep, so I came out here to the sunroom. Let's take a look. Like I said, you've got Darren in first place. I'll get rid of all these notifications I got here. You've got Steven in second, Annie in third, William, Rob, Brian, Moose, Christopher, Cassandra, me. I'm actually shocked that I'm so far down. I thought I picked a great team. Nikki ASH doing everything she's been doing. Just shocks me I'm so far down. So I've made some moves this week in the trade threads. You guys are always welcome to do so. Put Brian Danielson on the bench. I know I picked him up last week. I love that bench spot because then I can, he's yet to debut on AEW television. We know he signed the contract, but until he debuts, he can remain on my bench. Same for CM Punk. I know somebody picked him up. Darren, you're doing great first place, but you've got Becky Lynch on Raw. You can put her on your bench since she has yet to return. I would have said the same about Sasha, but she came back yesterday. Don't know if there's anybody else. Let's see. Now I'll address that in a few. I don't want to sit here with the screen at the computer while I look through all of it. Then after me, you've got Gideon, Ali, Ryan, Josh, Scott, Raw, Alan, Markeith, Joseph, Blanky, and John. John definitely looks like you may need to do some moving around. You've got an amazing team, but New Day hasn't done anything since Kofi's lost to Bobby Lashley. Ricochet, he does stuff on main event, but not a whole lot during the week, especially not on Raw. Tony Storm, I'm surprised, was not on SmackDown this week. I guess they were building so much around Sasha with the women this week that they didn't want anybody to take the focus off of her. Dexter Lumis, he's got that match coming up with Gargano. On Sci-Fi. For Indy Hartwell's, heart. Like I said, they're wrestling for Indy's heart. I'm loving the Index. Can't help it. Indy and Dexter, it's great. I love it. But he really hasn't done anything for you. Dexter, I can't even remember the last time he really has done anything. Something to think about. Go back and look at that. Malachi Black, that's coming up. His match with Cody is His match with Cody is this week's Dynamite, so maybe he'll get the win there. He has done some stuff with showing up. You know, he attacked Cody this past week. Chris Bray, you don't want to mess with that. He's in the perfect spot right now. Teaming with Jay Wyatt, about to become a member of the Bullet Club. Then you've got Jacob Fatu. Yeah, it's tricky situation with the guys from MLW. Because, you know, MLW right now is not running weekly shows. But they are, a lot of their guys are out there on the indies. And I'm scoring the indies. You can see the Rumbulution, I can't remember what it was, but a lot of guys showed up for that. Gangrel, Vincent, Matt Taven, Mike Bennett, Chris Bay. So a lot of guys got points off of that. But here's the thing. If you want to bench Jacob Fatu, if you want to bench somebody you have on MLW, I will allow it. You can, like I said, one spot, one bench spot. So if you've got somebody on MLW, you can bench them until their show returns. That being said, they have I can't remember what it's called. Fusion Plus, Fusion Action, something like that coming up. Gonna be a YouTube thing. When they return to their regular fusions, it's gonna be on Vice TV. But like I said, I'm not going to count the indies as their appearances because the indies are just extra points. I'm scoring them just so we can have them, but they are extra points. That being said, Raw asked if he can bench Kylie Ray. Right now with the NWA doing their Champions Series, I think everything's going to be focused on that. So if you've got somebody on the NWA who's not part of the Championship Series, I'll allow that to be benched until that series is completed or they arrive and have a match on Power. So if they have a match on Power, it's not part of the Champion Series, they have to be unbenched. Because that means that every match isn't going to be focused around that series. That being said, Kylie Ray have a championship match coming up for Warrior Wrestling on the 21st, I believe. So that's something to think about, taking her off the bench for that. But you have to have your roster complete, and if you have to drop somebody to make room for her at that point, you might want to do that. She's wrestling Thunder Rosa for Warrior Wrestling. I think she'll win it. I think she'll keep her title. That being said, Thunder Rosa, her contract being picked up by AEW. Want to discuss that for a minute. Because I'm looking at that. And AEW's working with all these companies, NWA especially. Why did they have to take her contract? NWA only has so many people actually under contract. I was listening to an interview with Nick Aldis. Thunder Rosa was one of their main people and one of their contracts that they wanted to build things around. Sounded like somebody hit the window there. AEW taking her contract. Is that a sign that AEW is trying to get people under contract and no longer work with the other companies? I don't see that being the case. I definitely think AEW is going to continue working with everyone. It just really confuses me on why they would pick up her contract unless NWA needed them to do so. I guess I haven't read enough about why. So if anybody knows if there was an actual reason or if it was just TK wanting to get her on his roster, let me know, because I don't see... I was just confused by that move. Speaking of moves to be confused by, I woke up today to Bray Wyatt being released from his contract with WWE. Mind blown. Of course, that triggers all the is WWE being sold questions. Are they trying to get rid of all these big money contracts to get make the company easier to sell? Yada, yada, yada. Bray, I know they said he was looking at a return soon, but he hasn't been on TV since WrestleMania. So I know there was the whole thing with Brody Lee's passing, and he was dealing with that as, you know, as a fan we all were. But it just seems like odd timing to be releasing. But again, I've read that Vince McMahon don't see AEW as the competition that WCW once was. So maybe he's just not worried about losing all these guys and it taking anything away from his company. Something further to discuss. All right, but let's get back to the game and things going on. We left off on Jacob Fatu. John, he's great. He's the champ. I would throw him on the bench and see if you can get somebody with some points going for it. Because I don't see Jacob Fatu. Well, now I'm going to take that back. I don't see him appearing much in the Indies. But there is something going on with him and SWE Fury. Charlie Haas has alluded to Jacob Fatu on several occasions, if you watch that. So that's something to pay attention to as well. But you can bench him. I will allow it until MLW comes back. At least with their YouTube show. I don't know. I think there's 4 weeks of that going to happen. And then that main fusion's coming back. So we'll see what happens there. But you're allowed to bench him. Ray Horace. He hasn't done anything lately, but he was having a great run with Ring of Honor, defeating Flamita. You know, he appears on television every couple weeks, so there's something to look forward to there. But that is why we did the 3 different brands for that spot. Because, you know, in our weekly shows, you can't have everybody showing up every week. Jay White, great pickup there. Dakota Kai, even better. I wouldn't touch, especially those two. And this alludes back to points for the Indies. New Japan Pro Wrestling. Jay White does something there. Good Brothers do something there. I don't watch it much. I have started watching Strong. But if somebody does watch New Japan and one of our guys that has on the roster here does something there, let me know so I can award the points where needed. All right, guys. This has been a great week. I am actually shocked that points have started out as high as they have. But we're doing great. I'm loving it. Now I'm going to talk about free agents that got points this week. Just so if you want to pick somebody up, I did make a list of free agents with points. I am going to keep those to these videos. Something special to look at for the videos. If you want to know who's getting points and who's not, obviously you can look at the weekly points, for each show. But I'm going to make a list here. I'm only going to do the people who won a match and got points for that. I'm not going to do every little appearance point. But you've got Raw. You've got Mike Mansoor. Got points this week. He got 15 points. He won the match with Ali. Plus his appearance in the match. Omos. He's a tag champion. Nobody has Omos. He got 55 points this week, guys. I know he doesn't wrestle every week. He doesn't do a lot. But he got points. So, those once a week points worth picking him up. Or once every blue moon. Reginald. Man, the 24/7 title. He defended on SmackDown. Does that mean he's moving to SmackDown? Are they moving the 24/7 title to SmackDown? Or is it just the fact that it's 24/7 title and it can be defended anywhere at any time? And we'll see him back on Raw Monday. I don't know, but I picked him up. Because I see big things for Edge. At least with the 24/7. Him and R-Truth, that's good stuff. That's great stuff. Jackson Riker, 15 points this week. Main event. He had a match. Won that. Same with Angel Garza. Now this season I'm scoring main event 205 Live. So, pick up those guys that aren't featured every week on Raw, and they may be on main event. AEW. Most of these happened on Dark. Alright guys, sorry about that. Neighbors' kids are in and out of here all the time. They just walk in the house. So, alright, back to AEW's free agents that have points. Yuka Sakazaki, Angelico, Wardlow, Lee Johnson, Brock Anderson, Billy Gunn, Diamante, and Dante Martin. Dante Martin's a good one for somebody to pick up. Dark all day long. He's always on Dark. He does a lot of indie appearances too. And I'm sure he'll do even more once his brother's back and they can reunite as Top Flight. That's a good one to pick up. Especially if you're down there struggling. Alright, then we've got, what did I say? I was going to talk about Billy Gunn. Alright. I know nobody's brought it up yet. I do know somebody has the Gun Club. Gun Club started out Billy and Austin. Then it went to Austin and Colton, which is how I have it labeled. Because I think that's the future. That's who's going to be. Did something happen to Austin? I haven't seen Austin in quite some time. Is he injured? That's a question I've got for you guys. Let me know. If he is injured, then I will turn it to Colton and Billy until Austin returns. But right now, I'm leaving it as Colton and Austin, unless somebody says something. But Billy, he gets points on Dark every week. Gun Club wrestles on Dark every week. So if it's right now, Billy, Colton, if that's the Gun Club right now, if something's going on with Austin, I will change it and I will give points, backtrack points where Billy has picked up points. But yeah, we'll go with that. This week, Ring of Honor, Flip Gordon picked up 30 points. I picked him up. Great drop. Flip for Jay White last week, John. Great move made right there. Trying to get yourself out of that bottom spot. But Flip Gordon, he turned around this week and picked up 30 points. Whereas Jay White, he had a match on... He had 15 points just out of appearances this week on Impact. So, great stuff. Flip also got points elsewhere. So it wasn't just Ring of Honor weekly. He did something else this week. Trying to think of where it was. Rumblation, whatever it's called. I think he may have gotten points in their Battle Royal. I'm not 100%, but I do know he picked up points somewhere else. So that wasn't just for that, but that's part of the Indies. Give him points for that this year. You've also got Dak Draper, who picked up 35 points. That's on Week by Week, Ring of Honor, and the weekly show. Weird with how that triple threat match ended, isn't it? With Dalton Castle and the boys kind of giving the match to Dak Draper. It was an interesting one. The Bouncers. It's a great tag team there. Beer City Bruiser, Brian Malonis. They got 30 points this week. Malonis picked up that victory on Week by Week. Good stuff. That's one to watch for. Especially if you got a bottom tag team not doing anything. The Bouncers, they're usually a pretty big staple lately in Ring of Honor. So, and they do a lot. They really do. NXT, let's move on to that. Oney Lorcan picked up 20 points. Caden and Casey picked up 20 points each. I don't have them labeled as a tag team, but they are a tag team. Caden and Casey have been together since Casey got there. So keep that in mind. I'll allow them to be picked up as a tag team. Same with, I don't think I have Nia and Shayna labeled as a tag team, but they're a tag team. I know they're off as singles. People have them picked up as singles, but they're definitely, you know, whoever has them picked up as singles. If you want to move them to your tag teams and then pick up 2 singles, I'll allow it. They've been together way longer than I expected them to be together. Drake Maverick and Ika Minjiro on 205 Live this week. Each of them picked up 15 points. Impact this week. Taylor Wilde coming back, picking up 15 points, defeating Caleb with a K. Falaba, no way. No way. No way. Just dropped the Jose and we got no way. Willie Mack and Rich Swan, those guys won that 8-man tag, so they all picked up 15 points. That's the gist of it this week, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope this helps you with some moves. I did it today, Saturday, because that gives you all day today and tomorrow to look at the trades. See if there are any moves you want to make. I know I said I'd be doing these videos on Sundays, so I have Saturday as a catch-up day. I do still need that, but the only thing I need to watch still is New Japan Strong. And that's not something we score main show-wise, main game-wise. That's just extra points. And there you're looking at extra points there because Good Brothers picked up that win in the tag team tournament. I've already scored that in the poll points. Everybody who gets the Good Brothers during that poll got 25 points. Last week, we gave out the 10 points for the trivia question. And that being said, here's today's trivia question. The triple cage that was made famous by the movie Ready to Rumble. You know, level here, little level here. Love that cage, I do. And they used it several times there in the during that movie's run. They had a War Games match, sort of, in that cage. They did the whole triple threat between Arquette, DDP, and Jeff Jarrett in that cage. They use that cage there in the 2000s. However, my question this week is, when did they first use the cage? The triple cage. What was the first event that cage was used during? Bonus points. 5 bonus points if you tell me the 2 teams that were in that cage. Ooh, 2 teams. Giving it away. But yeah. I loved, if you know the match, I loved how they did this match. Because it was different than how they did it later years. That's all I'm going to say. But good stuff. Great stuff, guys. Let me know if you guys are enjoying these videos. Let me know what I can do to spice up these videos for you. That being said, here's whoever answers the trivia question first. Private message me your answers so that multiple people can answer it. Maybe we can give out multiple points this week. Last week's trivia question, who's Eric Bischoff's business partner and what TV show they used to be part of? Jason Hervey from the Wonder Years. Bischoff Hervey Entertainment, they've been going strong for many, many years. Jason Hervey was a big wrestling fan. Appeared several times during the NWA years. Just to give you guys something there. I'll do that every week. I'll give you the answer to the question. But Wednesday morning, if you guys haven't answered this question, you give me my points. So, all right. You guys have a good one, and we'll talk again next week. Bye.